Hey lovies, good morning. Happy Tuesday. I wanted to pop in today. I know it's a little earlier than I usually do these, but I was really excited about the video today. And as you can see, I'm not even dressed yet, so wanted to come hang out with you bright and early this morning, at least here. It may be a little later where you are. But I wanted to talk to you about a couple things about increasing your confidence and also how to feel more comfortable as an introvert in your business, because most of us in this group are introverts, or we are shy, or we're just uncomfortable being seen. And a lot of that has to do with confidence. So I wanted to talk a little bit about both today, but before I dive into that, I did want to make an announcement. As most of you know, I had opened up 4 spots this month, July, for my one-on-one coaching program, and I dropped the price by $500, so it was $2,500 to work with me for 3 months, and that was actually supposed to be done today. Today was the last day of that. But I had a download last week from the universe basically just saying you should extend that price. So I'm not the person who ignores these ideas that pop into my head from the universe, so I will be extending this price a little bit longer. If you are someone who has been thinking about working with me, or maybe you really want to but you are scared of investing in yourself, so you've been putting it off, here's your chance to schedule a call with me. We can talk about what's going on for you. We can find ways for you to come up with the money. So I am extending this $2,500 price until next Tuesday, August 7th. So if you're interested in that, if you're interested in applying for the program and speaking with me, you can go to gracefulrising.com/coaching, and we can set up a call to chat about that. So let's dive into this today. All right, so the first thing that I want to talk about, actually the first thing I want to say before I go into this is that I think there are many different definitions of an introvert. So I just want everyone to be clear about what I'm talking about as an introvert, because it may or may not match with your definition. So an introvert to me is not necessarily someone who is shy. I am introverted and I don't think I'm necessarily shy. It's not necessarily someone who is uncomfortable being seen, although I think that those things are so closely related sometimes that that's why I talk to all of these things in this group and why I work with women who are experiencing any of those things. For me, the way that introversion comes out is, one, I need a lot of alone time. Like, I'm totally happy being social sometimes, but I need a lot of alone time as well. That's how I recharge. Another thing for me that is, I think, kind of classic introvert definition is that I like to go deeper with people. Like, I don't like the surfacey stuff as much, like the small talk conversations, right? It's more of like the deep things that I can get into. So we're going to talk about those two things today, just to give you some ideas about how to really work around these things in your business. So the first thing we're going to talk about is needing alone time, or feeling like you don't have enough energy in your business to actually do what you need to do. We, like I said, need alone time to recharge, a lot of us as introverts. But the thing is like right now in my business, I have more free time than I've ever had in my life, especially when I was working a full-time job. And there was a time when I was working a full-time job and going to grad school. Actually, that happened twice. So I have way more free time in my life right now than I have ever before. I want you to give me a yes in the comments if you feel like you need alone time pretty regularly, or that you sometimes can feel your energy draining from the work that you're doing. So here are the things that I want to say about this. One is that you're your own boss, so you're in charge of your schedule. So I don't want this to come out kind of jerky, but like, you don't really have an excuse for not designing your business in a way that works for you. So one of the things that you can do, right, one of the really helpful things, and we actually talk about this in my group program, which is turning into a self-study program very shortly, it's all about creating your offer. And one of the modules in that group is actually creating your offer, designing it around your ideal lifestyle. So you're designing your offer around the times that work for you, the times of day that work for you, how much you want to work during the week or during the month. Let me just say, and I get this because, like I said, I don't want to sound like a jerk. In the beginning of your business, yes, it can be more difficult. Maybe you're working another job. Maybe you're working 2 jobs. Maybe you have family, kids, spouse. Like, there are other things that you're doing. I still think that you can make time in a way that works for you, even if it's only a couple hours a week or maybe a few hours extra on a weekend, something that'll work for you to actually put in the time without being completely drained. The other important part of this is that you want to make sure that you are scheduling time for self-care and free time if that's what you need. So that could be, time to take a bath, time to read, time to like literally go for a drive or like be away from your family if that's what you need. Something that so that you can be alone, even if it's an hour a day, whatever you can do to make that work for you. Now, if you're a coach or a consultant or you work with clients, one other idea that I have for you is to batch the things that you do. So a lot of times it's the client work that can be really tiring, right? I used to work as a case manager and I used to see like 6 or 7 clients a day or talk to them on the phone. That was a lot for me. So I've never scheduled that many clients in a day when I work in the coaching aspect, right? Because I know that that's going to tire me out. But what I do like to do is have certain days, like right now, for instance, it's Tuesdays and Fridays usually, that I do one-on-one calls. And so I can sort of like streamline my energy for that, knowing that I'm going to need it, and then just do other things on the other days, right? Maybe on Thursdays, a lot of times I do like sales calls or any other free assessments that I'm doing. Just totally batch that on its own because I know that takes a different sort of like headspace and energy. Maybe Monday and Wednesday, I'm actually doing more behind the scenes stuff in my business. So whatever you can do to kind of batch your work may also be helpful for you. And the other thing I just want to mention about this, about needing alone time and energy, is like you need to put in the work to have a successful business. There's just no way around it. And so I want you to try to figure out what works for you. Hey, Marie. What works for you. And of course, test and try things out and tweak and see what works the best for your energy, how you can schedule time for yourself. All right. So the second thing I want to talk about is being easily bored with others or avoiding small talk. So one of the women who just came into this group just mentioned that this was something that she has trouble with. And I actually laughed at this one. I love this one because I feel like this has been an issue for me in the past as well. Many times in my life, any area of my life. Although I have to say it's not usually an issue in my business. And again, I think that's because of the way that I structure it and the way that I am putting myself out there and actually doing the work that I love to do. So give me a yes in the comments if you ever feel bored with what you're doing or you really like cringe at the small talk, the kind of surfacey stuff, if that's not really what you like to do in your business. So the first thing I want to say about this is that you can figure out what your zone of genius is in your business, the work that you love to do, and then you do this all the time. We're actually reading The Big Leap right now in Elevate Book Club. It's excellent. If you have not read it, I would totally recommend it. And there's a whole section of that book about finding your zone of genius. And the whole point is like when you're in that place, it's so flowy, like you just love everything you do that it doesn't feel like work. It's not hard to do it all. And this may be different for a lot of us, right? We have different skills, we have different strengths, we have different things that we like to do. So for me, for instance, one thing that I love doing is digging deep with people. I love to learn about them. I love to learn about their goals. I love to talk about the possibility and their visions. Like that's not surfacey to me, right? That's like pretty deep in conversation. And I have these conversations with my friends too, but it's like, it's kind of deep. But because I'm a coach, I get to do that all the time. And so I never feel bored when I'm coaching, or I never feel like I'm like having small talk with someone because I'm diving deep into that. Another thing that you can do is hire people to do the things that you don't want to do. So again, this goes back to your zone of genius, right? If you are not good at scheduling emails or creating lead pages or I don't know, anything, doing your website, like you can hire other people to do that for you. We want you to stay in your zone of genius. That's when you're going to have the most success in your business and when you're going to enjoy it the most. So this can be people like a virtual assistant, who I have one of and I absolutely love her. A bookkeeper. My bookkeeper is the most amazing person in my life. A house cleaner. I have someone that cleans my house and it is the most amazing thing ever. And if you feel like you can't afford this right now, I get it, because I didn't invest in a VA until maybe like a year into my business, but that was when things really started to change and I really started to enjoy my business a lot more. If you can't hire someone right now, I'd love for you to make a list today, like 2 or 3 people, like your first hires, and what you would want to hand off to them. So like, what are the things that you don't enjoy doing? What are the things that you know need to be done, but that you really like cringe about doing? Like, there are other people who their zone of genius are these things, right? They want to do these things. So you can hire a virtual assistant to do these things for you. So just keep that in mind and think about who you would hire first and maybe second, because the more we can kind of keep these future plans in our head, the quicker we're going to manifest them. And then the third thing about like being easily bored or avoiding small talk is you can give content that goes deeper, right? So I really love doing videos for you ladies. I love to give content. I love to show up not dressed, or, you know, I don't have any makeup or anything on. I haven't even washed my face today, to be completely honest with you. But it's like, this is me kind of being vulnerable. And sometimes I feel like even in my content, I'm a little bit surfacey, especially with like the bulleted things that I share in like an email, or the like kind of just tips and tricks for being visible, because the part that's actually goes deeper for me and the part that I enjoy more is like working on the confidence and the mindset. And the thing about that is like, I can give you some tips about it, but it's so much inner work that the one-on-one coaching is really the best place for that to happen. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later, but that's why I do talk about some of these things sometimes, but it's just the better container for it, at least for me as a coach, is actually working with someone one-on-one about those things. So content, though, is a place that you can go a little bit deeper, that you can show up a little bit more vulnerably, that you can show up on video or audio or in a way that people can actually connect with you more. So how can you think about ways that you can go even deeper, even if you're not working with clients? And one of those main things I would say would be content and your visibility strategy, like how you're showing up. Okay, so we talked about needing alone time and energy. We talked about being easily bored with others and avoiding small talk. And now I want to give you a couple tips about increasing your confidence. So like I said, the mindset stuff, it's ongoing. It's something that I would really prefer to do with people one-on-one, which is why it's such a big part of my one-on-one program. But there are, of course, tips and tricks that I can share with you to at least get you started here. So the first thing I want to let you know is that even if you have the best offer, the best content, the best message, if you can't put it out there or show up and connect with your people, it's not going to work for you. So this is why the confidence and the mindset is so important in visibility, and why I kind of pair those things in all of my programs. So here's the first thing I want to tell you about that. Not everyone is going to like what you have to say or what you do. It's never going to happen. So it's really important to be clear about your ideal client so that you know who they are, who you want to attract in, and who you're really trying to push away, because you also don't want to bring in people that are not the right clients for you. You're kind of weeding everyone else out, right? As many of you know, I just started dating. Well, just started like almost a year ago now. I started dating again pretty regularly. Gosh, it's almost been a year already. But one of the things about dating is like, there are so many people that are just like not a good fit for you, right? And you know it sometimes right away. Sometimes it takes you a little longer. If any of you are dating currently or have dated recently, you know what I'm talking about. So it's just something that you can't take personally. It's just not a good fit. Like, that guy's not my perfect partner. That means someone else is out there for me. Same thing with clients. That person is not my perfect client. That just means there's someone out there for me. 2 other people, 3 other people, 10 other people who would actually be a great fit for me to work with. One of the books that we read in Elevate Book Club was The 4 Agreements. And there's a whole section in that book about not taking things personally, which is kind of what this is about, right? It's like, not everyone's going to like you, and it's really about them, right? They're bringing it back on themselves. They're projecting on you. It has nothing to do with you at all. So we can weed out our ideal client. We can weed out our people so we make sure we're getting our ideal clients. And also just know that everyone's not going to be a good fit for you, and you're not going to be a good fit for everyone else either. The second tip that I want to share about confidence is if you're feeling like you're not good enough, or maybe you don't have anything valuable to share, maybe you're a newer entrepreneur or you've been in the game for a little bit but you haven't exactly had the clients or success that you wanted, it sort of like eats away at your confidence, right? So I want to just give you a couple ideas. One is that, of course, you can always work pro bono, especially in the beginning of your business, to get a feel for what it's like to work with people. And then, of course, you ask them for a testimonial in return for the free session. So they can give you actually really good feedback about your coaching or whatever you're doing, your product. And then, of course, you can share that with others on your website as just showing like you do this work, right? And plus it helps increase your confidence. Like it really does. When people are like, oh my God, that was the most amazing session I've ever had. I learned this, now I'm doing that. This is the result I had. Like it will increase your confidence. The second thing I want to share about this, kind of another little tool, is that let me tell you what it is and then I'll tell you why. So I want you to create a list that's called My Programs Are the Prize list, or My Clients Should Work With Me Because list, however you want to title it. Essentially what you're doing is you are writing down for every reason that your program is the shit, that working with you would be like the most amazing thing your people could ever get out of it, why investing with you would be the best decision they've ever made, right? So, and you know these things about your program. You know what your people want, you know what they need, you know what they're struggling with. So I actually have one of these lists, and it's kind of funny. So the first list that I had about this actually came from another coach that I'm working with. And in that program, it's actually about finding your soulmate. So the list that I have is actually about like why I am the prize in a relationship list. So I just created another one about my programs. Like, this is why my programs are the most amazing thing ever. And I read these lists almost every day. Like it's just like constantly in my head. And so I can feel my confidence increasing like every day about it. So I just want to give you those ideas of other things that you can do to increase your confidence. And then the third thing is I really want you to start putting your stuff out there right now. Even if you have a small community or a really small list, I have to tell you that when I first started my business, I had 5 people on my email list. 3 of them were my own emails because I was like constantly testing to make sure everything was going out. And 1 of them was my mom. And I still wrote an email every single week as if I was reaching like thousands of women who needed me and needed my services. The thing about it is the more you put yourself out there, the more confident you're going to get. Like the better my writing skills have gotten, the more clear I've gotten about what I'm actually talking about and doing in my business. So I don't want you to like put things off until you feel like people are actually watching or listening or commenting, or you have a list or a community. Like start doing it now, because that's going to get you in the habit of continuing to do it when you do have those communities and those people. So give me a yup if that all makes sense to you. Let me recap real quick. So we talked about needing alone time and making sure that you're conserving your energy. We talked about how to get past being easily bored or avoiding small talk with others. And then, of course, a few tips to increase your confidence. So before I let you go, I wanted to let you know that I had another download on Sunday that I should offer some kind of mindset or confidence breakthrough session to you ladies. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to offer you a 45-minute call with me for free to help increase your confidence and shift your mindset so that you can show up bigger and as who you are in your business. So if you're interested, you can send us an email at info@gracefulrising.com. Again, that's info@gracefulrising.com. And we will send you the link to schedule the session. So during this call, we're going to go even deeper into what's been holding you back and help you break through any barriers that are keeping you from showing up in your business. So this is no pitch. I don't actually pitch on any of my free sessions. What I do is I may, if it feels like a good fit, invite you to another call with me, which would actually be a discovery call, a clarity call to talk about working together. But if after this free session that doesn't feel okay for you, you can just say that you're not interested in having that call with me. I'm still super happy and excited to just do this free session with you. The session is just going to be straight coaching. So let me know if you have any questions about anything that I shared today. Your homework, I would love for you to do a My Programs Are the Shiz list. That would be amazing. 35 things. I want you to write 35 things on that list about why your programs are the most amazing thing ever, why you are the perfect person to work with people, your strengths, your skills, anything you can write on there that you know will help increase your confidence about who you are in your programs. And of course, if you want in on this free confidence breakthrough call, you can email us at info@gracefulrising.com. Okay, my loves, I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you so soon. Bye.